Hello, everybody. You're watching the Mike Nelson Show. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. I want to thank everybody. We have reached the 1,000 subscriber mark. And of course, that's a pretty awesome achievement. I want to thank everybody around the world who has supported the channel. I'm here with a pretty cool guest today. I'm here with Two. How you doing today, Two?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Of course, you're part of the music group Two Lot, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Too lot. Thanks for having us too, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. So talk to me a little bit about your musical background. I know I saw on the website for Two Lot that, you of course had that musical background in your family, but talk to me a little bit more about that, how it was growing up around music.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was easy for me. Just going to church 8 days a week was pretty natural, man. I was gravitated naturally towards the drums. That was something that was just very very appealing to me. They didn't let me touch the drums. I had to play percussion, so I was the church's best percussionist in the back, man, and that carried me all throughout high school, man. I just had a natural passion for that. Started getting trained professionally at a pretty young age. Got endorsed at 16. Long story short, man, got a full tuition scholarship actually to Columbia College Chicago. Before I went to college, I graduated from Booker T. Washington. Shout out to BTW HSPVA, all my Booker T folks, people like Nora Jones, Erica Baidu, Robert Sput Seawright, Sean Martin. All those big cats came out of that school. Roy Hargrove, you name it. So I graduated from that school, man. Got a full tuition scholarship for jazz performance to literally go swing, right? To just like go play drums, which is cool. And I ran into this kid named Chance the Rapper while I was out there. Got a chance to play with him. Got a chance to play with Vic Mensa. Was in a band called Maythew. All of this different kind of stuff, man. And I mean, yeah, that's just been my thing. Where I was just blessed at a young age, man, to experience a little bit of success from a little bit of hard work. And yeah, man, I saw what that got me, man, and I've just been really on that path with music ever since. So yeah.
So how did like being around, these musicians kind of influence your playing? Like, did that kind of push you in a certain direction of the kind of music that you were going to play growing up, as you pursued in your career?
Man, these are some good questions, man. I wasn't expecting this. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think naturally whatever you are around like influences you, right? If I had like, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to get religious or anything like that, but if I had like Hindu, stuff and I grew up with that around me, I'm probably gonna think that like that's my religion, right? If I grew up with Bibles and stuff like that, you know, um, right? Like even if I grew up in China, and I'm black, right? I'm probably gonna end up speaking that language, So in music is a universal language, man. But yeah, I grew up playing gospel a lot was really my thing. I was just like it was really really weird, going to sleep at night. I didn't have a TV in my room, but I had a radio. My mom would let me play 88.1 KNTU is a jazz station. So I would always be listening to jazz and all this weird fusion stuff at night. And, man, I just like kind of gravitated towards that. And, obviously when I got to high school, it wasn't a normal high school, right? It wasn't a high school that like where you had like a basketball team or a football team, right? Like there wasn't a gym. We had like dance studio A and B and jazz combo one and like R&B ensemble and Latin American ensemble and all that. So I really went like deep when I got to high school and I explored everything, man. Was in an award-winning Latin American ensemble where we were dancing and playing and singing and all the way to doing jazz and stuff like that, man. But yeah, I was around a lot of different music, and you could hear that in my playing. I feel like so. Yeah,
Now, do you think percussion kind of chose you, or did you choose percussion? Like I always ask that, like did it choose you, or did you kind of choose it?
I didn't have a choice. I
You
couldn't
just
play the
kind of you got
drums
pushed
because
into it. You got
man,
pushed.
my pawpaw,
Yeah.
the pastor. Every time I touch the drums for offering, which is a small part of a church service where they kind of let the backup drummer kind of get on. I would hop on, man, and as soon as I just it was, hey, you got it, hey, get him off, somebody. So I had to play percussion. I didn't have a choice, but But from that, like I would just sit and watch the drummer, and that really kind of increased my appetite, to really want to play drums. So yeah, I guess it chose me. I guess
There
you
you
could say.
go. Now,
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about how, you said you mentioned you were watching the drummer. Is that important as a musician to kind of watch other musicians to kind of learn? Is that very important, you think?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You can learn from any type of musician. People who, to me, don't play as choppy, right? Because I can get choppy. I feel like I think I learn from those guys, right? I think a choppy drummer can learn from somebody who's not as chop. You can learn from the guy who's playing the most simple stuff. I mean, it's weird if I'm talking to somebody who's super, super young, but I think as you get older, you'll see, man, that you learn from everybody. I mean, I think like Victor Wooten says, there is no wrong note in music. So to me, there really isn't like the good player you need to watch and then like the bad player. Like, dude, the person that's like at the coffee bar that is not getting a lot of attention, bro, I guarantee you can learn something from them. But yeah, long story short, I would definitely say that is probably the most important thing is to, in the easiest way, I feel like to be successful in anything is to like look at somebody who's already at where you're trying to go and they're already doing what it is you're trying to do. I promise you're going to be successful with that because nowadays people hear with their eyes. So, go to YouTube University, get busy.
Now, like, talk about like how you learn songs and all that. Do you usually like play along with music then when you were growing up, or you still do that today? How does it usually work for you playing the drums like that?
Man, it's funny. I took a gig, I'll never forget this, Mike, on Carnival Cruise Lines, and I had to learn 300 what they call howl tunes, howl charts. It's a guy who kind of writes your standard, so man, it's funny. I had to figure out like how to learn all of this music, right? And so, and on the go, right, without having a kit like everywhere I went. So I would take a pillow, I would take my headphones, and I would literally kind of just visualize the pillow being a kit, I guess you could say, and just like this would be the air would be my ride. uh, and yeah, I would listen and play along with the music, man. That was number one easiest way to do it. And then just listening to music ad nauseum. I think that even when you're not playing, that is one of the best ways to learn anything. I mean, yeah, just listen to it like it's your favorite song, and I guarantee you'll know it. Whatever's in you, that's what's gonna come out.
Now, how did the current project Two Lot kind of start?
Man, that's a good question, man. So, we all came together from different backgrounds in music. Obviously, I just told you my background personally, but man, this is a tough story to kind of just tell. I mean, my dad actually got really, really, really sick. Ended up in Wichita, Kansas, on his way on the flight there. Felt a little funny, right? Like felt like he wasn't all the way feeling right, and it was hard for him to breathe. Rushed himself to the emergency room. Found out he had COVID. He never left that emergency room, basically, man. Right? He got sick. He was there for like over 100 days. Transported him over to another hospital, and while he was there, I was visiting my dad because I live in Dallas, right? I'm here in Dallas, Texas. And I was like, man, I got to go make sure my dad is okay. Took off from work, everything, just dropped my life and just moved there basically for like over 100 days. And while I was there, I met a guy named Chase Cope, good friend of mine now. His dad and my dad worked on projects. Just a little bit of background about my father. My dad is Bishop Omar Jawar. That's my dad. Back there, right there. Got pictures of him all around my house. So my daughter, shout out to my baby daughter Ivy. She's back there somewhere. But just so she can see him everywhere. But he was the founder of Urban Specialists. He was a huge bishop in the community, faith-based leader. I mean, bro, I could go on and on and on, but he is a world-renowned like name, right? Deion Sanders was a member of our church. Like, I mean, just to give you a little bit of background, man. Like my dad, excuse my friend, my dad was the shit, right? Like he's cool guy, man, doing this thing. And long story short, man, he was working on driving social change in the community, man, and was working with Chase's dad. His dad actually runs a nonprofit as well. helping decrease poverty all around the world. One thing that was helping create mutual benefit with that was that my dad was helping stop senseless violence. And this was like at the height back in the 90s, man, when gangs were like at a height. You talk the Bloods and the Crips and all of that kind of stuff. My dad was the first gang specialist in the world, man. So naturally, when you think about like what happened with stuff like George Floyd and all of that kind of stuff, man, the person that they called to do truce and peace, because again, my dad did the peace treaty, between the Bloods and the Crips back in the day, all of this kind of stuff, man. They called my dad to do a lot of that kind of stuff, man. So naturally, my dad and Chase's dad were working together on some stuff. Again, Pops was going out there, got sick, and Chase actually called me and was just like, "Hey, man, I heard what happened to your dad. He means a lot to the country, a lot to the community, man." And he was just checking on me, man. Didn't really want much. And I think like the next day, he hit me again and was just checking in again and was like, "Hey, why don't you come through? You heard a little bit about your background. I heard that you played music. I love music. I have a drum set here in my basement. Why don't you come through, man? Let's drink some tequila, man, and play some music, right?" Is our story that we always tell. And again, through something that was so traumatic for me, music was like the out. That was the thing that like I could count on to like be there for me and something that could really, really, bro, like Mike, for real, could take my mind elsewhere and put me in a different zone. And that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for music, man. Long story short, man, my pops ended up passing away, man. Ended up
Sorry to
passing
hear
away.
that. Rest in
For
peace.
me to talk about. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Ended up passing away. We ended up being able to get him back to Dallas actually before that all went down, thankfully. But yeah, while I was there in Wichita, craziest thing, just from us jamming, playing some music, we were like, "Hey, man, this is cool, guitar and drums, but man, we sure need a keyboard player." And he was getting some lessons from a guy William, and he recommended Sage Judd, who's the keyboard player in the band. We call him the chairman of the boards. He came through. We said, "Man, we definitely need somebody to hold down the bass. We need and we called up Rudy Love Jr. And man, Rudy Love is a very special individual. His dad ended up getting sick right around the same time my dad got sick. And his dad ended up passing away as well, unfortunately. Um, you talking about Rudy Love Sr., man. This is like the OG. That's Rudy Love Sr., bro. Like the one that Jay-Z
Yeah.
uh, sampled on American Gangster.
Wow.
Yeah, so like his son is our lead singer, man. And again, this we weren't like, "Oh, we're about to come up with a band." Didn't happen like that. We were just jamming. Just
Yeah.
we all needed this outlet. Everybody was going through something. Not to mention Chase was going through a divorce, nasty one. It was just like, okay, we all are kind of experiencing death and fighting entropy in these different ways, right? And man, for every single one of us, music was the key. And then, long story short, man, when we all decided to form this unit, man, and say, "You know what, man, what if we like," because we noticed the transformation. Everybody noticed it. We were like, "Man, we're feeling pretty good when we're coming together, writing music. There's something special really, really going on here." And naturally, we talked about, looking to help drive social change because that's one of the things that was near and dear to my dad when he passed, Chase's dad, XYZ. But while we were doing that, man, we said, "Man, we really want to take this serious. We need another capability and to be able to write music, and we needed to get into this Ableton space." And good friend of mine, really like family, Robert Seawright recommended this guy, Robert Trusco, to the band, and that's how we ended up finding Trusco. That's a little bit of a longer story, man, but we ended up in the studio and we really, really wanted to learn how to like get into this Ableton space, and we ran into Trusco, our bass player, man. So he is literally one of 12, I think, certified Ableton specialists
Wow.
in the band, bro. So this is a crazy band. It's a really, really crazy experiment. And yeah, we're releasing our first album. I mean, I could go on and on and on about how we're taking the best of the EDM world, the best of the jam world, because that is kind of like what we're focused on right now is like mixing jam and mixing EDM, right? Like we're heavy in that world, even with the new single that we just pushed out, not Call For Me, the one that's out right now, but the one that we released right before that, Era of Time. We partnered with it's featured Michael Caine, from Street and Cheese Incident, which is a legendary jam band. But we're really doing what we can, for the audience to just pay homage to those two worlds, man. So I'll stop there, bro. But
No, no,
that's
no.
kind of how we
That
came
was good. That
together
was good. That was
on
good.
Stand For. Yeah.
But like another thing too, I wanted to talk about on your website for the project. You guys have a lot about the message that the band is trying to send, right? A message not just in the music, but talk to
Yeah.
me a little bit more about the message that Two Lot is trying to send out.
Well, shout out to the Phoenix, right? Real quick, obviously we could drive our message through music. I mean, just like everybody else. And not saying like everyone else is not like we're doing something crazy different. But one of the things I think that differentiates us is our mission in helping doing what we can or taking our capability. We play music, we for what we think pretty well, right? We put on pretty kick-ass shows. How to use that to help drive social change, which is like, kind of far fetched. But if you look at how music is like that universal language, the ultimate unifier, the power that music really, really has to make somebody go do something good or make somebody go look at the world in a hostile environment, and do something, not so good. Man, we were like, okay, we could use the power of music and community to really, really, really go spark that inspiration, man, to go do something good. So basically, what we do, man, we've decided even this year, man, to partner with the Phoenix. So, like for instance, the single "Call For Me." And if you're looking at this, man, please go check out the music video for "Call For Me." It's on YouTube. It's doing fairly well. In like a month, we've almost hit like over 150,000 views, man. It's just spreading like wildfire. It's crazy. And every proceed from that a part of that is going towards the Phoenix, man. And the Phoenix, if you don't know, is started by Scott Strode. They're helping folks overcome addiction right now through the power of music and community. Oh, I'm sorry, through the power of fitness and community. All you have to do is be 24 hours sober for 24 hours, and you get access to their membership. They're making gyms all over the country, and right now they're just hit over 1 million strong. They have over 1 million people that they're helping overcome addiction. So, partnering with folks like that, partnering with folks that like Urban Specialists, my pops organization helping stop senseless violence, partnering with organizations that are doing all of these different things, man. We want to just show up just when we're in the city, when we're playing the show. We're going to bring the people out. We're going to give them a crazy show. All they have to do is just be there, man. And we want to help, again, just draw awareness to what it is they're doing. We're not some charity band, bro, right? We're not sitting there just, singing. Now, it's a show, bro. Like we go all the way out. We don't, it's not like that, right? But again, we have very creative ways, I'll say that, of spreading awareness, and the stories are bananas. One was never forget, we were in Dallas. Or no, this was where was this? Was it Taos, New Mexico? It was one of the shows, man. I think it was Taos, yeah. One lady was just like literally came up to us and was like, man, I had no clue that this organization existed before I
Wow,
knew about you guys. I was struggling with addiction. This is now changing my life. It's changing my boyfriend's life.
that's awesome.
It's like, I mean, bro, like, so, I mean, to be able to play music and help people and do it for a good cause when, I mean, we know like music can definitely not
Go the
be
other way.
people. Feels good, bro. It feels
Yeah.
good. So, yeah.
Now, any shows talking? You were talking about shows, but any shows you can promote, or what's planned for Two Law for the rest of the year and next year? Something you could promote for the project.
Bro, we'll be in LA on the 15th. We got an album coming out on the 15th. On the 14th, we'll be at home in Wichita. Again, I don't know if I told you, but half the band is in Wichita. Half the band is out here in Dallas.
Okay.
We will be in Wichita on the 14th doing an album release party, a listening party. It's a listening experience for those that will be out there. It's gonna be nuts. Aroma stuff, sensory experiences, DJ, blah blah blah, crazy. And then we'll stop that at like 10. Everybody's gonna check the album out like at 11. And then boom, the next day we'll be in LA partying,
Wow.
guys, blue carpet, partying until 2 in the morning. It's gonna be a Poppy, DJ, gift bags, you know, photo booth deal, and obviously we'll be there. And we're gonna be turning up, bro. We're gonna be jamming. So that's one thing. And then I know this is kind of like after the fact, but man, we just were at Garcia's in New York. What was that on that this past Friday and Saturday, opening up, not opening up, but we did the pre-show for String Cheese, and then we did the post show for String Cheese. Both sold out shows, crazy. So 4 shows in 2 days, unbelievable time. Michael Caine got on stage with us
Wow.
after the show and literally shut the house down. And then Jason Hung, shout out to Jason. He got up on stage as well and played with us, man. So we're building this community, man. We're super busy and can't wait to hopefully run into some folks out there, man.
Well, I appreciate it too for you for coming on today. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for having us, bro.
Make sure to subscribe, everybody. Thanks for watching.
All right, bro.